The train rattled through the darkness, a lonely metal serpent slithering through the city's underbelly. Each carriage was a portrait of emptiness, illuminated by the harsh glare of fluorescent lights. Only a handful of passengers remained, their faces obscured by shadows and weariness. Nora sat by the window, her reflection a ghost in the glass. Headphones muffled the rhythmic clatter of the train, her gaze fixed on the cityscape blurring past. The air hung heavy with the silence of strangers, a silence broken only by the occasional cough or rustle of a newspaper. The train screeched to a halt, the sudden jolt stirring Nora from her thoughts. The doors hissed open, releasing a wave of cold air and the lingering scent of rain. No one boarded at this deserted station. She was alone, cocooned in the artificial light of the carriage. Then, she sensed it. A shift in the atmosphere, a prickling at the edge of her awareness. Slowly she turned her head, her heart pounding a relentless rhythm against her ribs. Seated opposite her was a man cloaked in shadows. He was tall and gaunt, his features obscured by the low-hanging hat pulled over his brow. His suit, though well-tailored, hung loosely on his frame, as if draped over bones. His eyes, twin points of unsettling light, watched her with an intensity that sent shivers down her spine. Nora tried to focus, tried to rationalize the unease that coiled in her stomach, but something about the man felt off. His presence seemed to absorb the light, casting an unnatural gloom over the carriage. And stranger still, there was no reflection of him in the window opposite. The train lurched forward, breaking the spell that held Nora captive. She tore her gaze away, her breath catching in her throat. She fumbled for her phone, the bright screen a beacon in the dimness. She pretended to read, her heart hammering against her ribs. Minutes crawled by, each tick of the clock an eternity. Finally, curiosity overwhelmed her fear. She stole another glance across the carriage. The seat opposite her was empty. Relief washed over her, leaving her weak and trembling. She scanned the carriage, but there was no sign of the man. He had vanished as silently and inexplicably as he had appeared. The train screeched to a halt at the next station. Nora gathered her belongings, eager to escape the confines of the carriage. As she stepped onto the platform, the cold night air hit her like a slap. She took a deep breath, trying to steady her nerves. Suddenly she felt it again. That same unsettling presence, a coldness that seeped into her bones. She whirled around, her heart pounding, but the platform was deserted. Then, carried on the wind, she heard it. A whisper, barely audible, yet chillingly clear. Until next time. The voice seemed to come from nowhere and everywhere at once. Nora stood frozen, her blood turning to ice. The train pulled away, leaving her alone on the platform, with only the echo of a whisper and the chilling certainty that she had not seen the last of the stranger on the